Alrighty, and we are back, and I am trying a different playlist today. We are going with Stream Save. Uh, uh, Trying to remember where we left off last week. I know we were working down here in the mines. Wait a second. There. Mines are running. And if I remember correctly, basically, so all these are going nicely. We need to still program a way where all these will open up when they're full. Yeah, and we got this guy. Minority 10 uranium. Okay. Zero count. Mind you, each of these is only going to get a count when they're 50 or more. So we already have 50 lead. Over here we have silicone, so I already have 150 silicone in here. Quite a bit of coal. A little bit of coal, yeah. Quite a bit of copper. And quite a bit of iron, which is as is to be expected. Alright. And again, I do eventually want to get it where these tanks can unload themselves. But I think I'm going to start focusing on some other bits today. Let's see where we're at here. We have this as a livable, a breathable space. Excuse me. We moved our refrigerator in here, although I did forget to turn it on. Hopefully that didn't mess things up too much. There we go. Was it on before and just not lit up? Yeah. Driving towards fruiting, driving towards seeking. Alright. Our way to get up and above. So yeah, let's work on this area and make it a little bit more livable. Like putting in lights, I think is definitely my high priority. I like having lights, and I'm sure you guys would as well, make it easier to see stuff. Let's start making some lights, some cable, so we can see them. Who's got all the... You got nothing in you, that's good. use all the ores or all the alloys and ingots are in here. Let's go with the lights first. How many lights do we think we need? I think I'm going to go with 6 to start with. And then a stacker cable. Cable. Part of me wants to learn how to do modding just to do a bulk printer that's able to print slightly faster, but takes the time, like, it will print cables in batches of 50. It takes 80% of the time it would take to print them individually, but it's an all or nothing. It only prints in bulk. We're almost at the full stack. So luckily it doesn't take too long to print 50 cables. There we go. And shut you off. How is my power? How is my waste spinning power? Is my oxygen? Alright. Okay, I really need to improve this system. Alright. I'll definitely have to clean it up because this room is a lot smaller than I was thinking it was going to be. I never did wire that up, so let's take care of that now. For now, we're just going to do it manually. Alright. And bring out the drill. The one I use to monitor chat is acting up, and let me try to see if I can fix that. Clear over so we mess up the blue light. Not anything that's going to utterly destroy the plans. Just make them slightly less efficient. You also need to water up while I'm up here. Nope. This is the exit. Interesting. Not sure how that shifted enough that I can't get down when I can get up, but it did. Close that one. This area needs light. The grow light doesn't always that's how we'll know where they're at or above. Not the prettiest wiring, but we're getting there. Okay. I'll probably fix that wiring up there now that I know what I'm doing. And at least a little bit of light leaks into this room. I mean, it's clipping through the wall. It shouldn't be acceptable, but for now, yeah. Alright, there we go. So, boom. Now I can get rid of that ugly wiring below. Alright, now let's go see how this looks. By the way, how are you looking? You're empty. Alright, so I can go. This was always a temporary concept. And it looks like a stack of wires was probably close to the right number. Alright. I'm going to shut that off. I can even take my suit off. Open. Oh, it won't give the way state because it's not powered. Okay. Okay, so it's nice and lit here. We've accomplished that. You guys have fruited, and now you're moving the seeds. Why is one doing better than the other? I mean, I know the answer is genetics. Oh, wow. That one, can go to a much lower temperature. You are definitely going to be populated. You, breathing efficiency is not that huge job. Light efficiency. And pressure. That one can stand much better pressures than this one. These are bad genetics. So, with that being said, I'm not going to bother gathering your seed because I don't want to reproduce with them. This one, on the other hand, once it's seeded, I'm going to take all the beans and the seed and just repopulate. Because that boy's doing good. Alright. We've got our nice little air conditioning. How's it working here? It's doing fine. I'm venting heat to the space very well, to the point that I have room to spare. Okay, so we won't have to worry about could be a bit. It's a shadow, or is that an actual design that I? That's a shadow. Okay. We're getting closer to a habitable environment. All right. Everything's still set up there. Still not up here. Oh well. Power you up. Power you up. Power it. Avoid vending. I don't think it's going to have much useful items, but maybe I can sell stuff and get money. Negative 59. Turn the dial clockwise. Yeah, that's going to be worse. So Maybe I went too far. Yeah, okay. There we go. Once you haul it into land, you can shut these off to get power. Let's go check it out. As suspected, nothing really worth buying, and nothing worth selling. Well, it's 10 minutes for that, so. Alright. Solar things seem to be good. That's not even functional yet because we need water supply. Life pod is also not very functional right now. Let's go fix that part just with having a backup. Due to production level. We got plenty of copper, so I'm just going to print another stack of 50. What's our power at? 50%. Not that we really need to go mining for any time soon, but just in case. Sometimes it's fun just to watch the physics of the objects dash around and get bashed. We need to get blown over here now. Let me mess with my phone real quick. That is how I'm viewing chat for now. Alright, let's go rewire the light pod. Our emergency shelter if something breaks. Go. house. Alright. That's right. These were in horrible shape, and I was just going to print new seats.
Air tank low.
And that will probably be something we need to work on today, is getting
Air tank critical.
the gas systems up and running. Because this is currently our gas systems. One of you. And don't feel free to ask any questions. It kind of helps me engage if I know what questions or comments you'd like to hear. There's our spare bird suit, and now let's print the spare helmets. And the nice part is, while we're sitting here doing this, our deep miners are working away. Centrifuges still need automation, but I can live with that for today. Alright. We have the breathable atmosphere, we have the spare suit and jetpack. Eventually we'll fill this with emergency supplies even further, but it flipped the doors. It did. Darn it. We just lost all that gas. Alright. Oh, I know why it flipped the doors. That's my fault. I forgot to do this after rewiring it. Oops. Alright. You're empty and empty. Okay. 1 minute left. And looks like dawn is on its way. We don't need you on right now. Eventually these will get moved into there as well. That is something I should do. That's right, that's where we need my emergency recharge point. 1 minute for that. Do I need any more solar at the moment? I think I'm good. That's a decent amount of solar panels. there's our radiator for the moment for our base. And yeah, the liquid drain kind of broke, but at the same time, the whole point was just to vent it to the atmosphere anyway. So I'm hoping that keeps it working. Alright. It's left the contact range. Alright, where's our new guy? Let's get the thing in a neutral position. There we go. Build ink. See if they're buying anything that I'm selling. 42. And that looks like it's more than 42. Yep. Four. 41 days without dying. Yay. 36. See what going up and down does. Made it worse. Much better. Nothing's okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can get you some of those. I know, I just like to transfer all the ingots instead of just having even distribution. I need to get out of that habit, but it's how my brain likes to know where all of them are. They're just all in the same spot. Readily printer line. While that's printing, let's go get some food and water. Maybe that soybean has finally seeded and we can replant. Woo, okay. There we go. Alright, that one didn't quite keep the low temperature range, but oh, that one's nice. It even goes up to 40. And pressure. Well, that one's winner on pressure, but I'm not too worried about the pressure. So temperature is what I'm more worried about. So this guy's the winner. Finish that off. Water. And we got a while before we have to worry about water. At some point, we need to get the greenhouse better where we're doing switchgrass and making volatiles with it. So, yeah. We're going to come down here and get the autolave mod. Chocolate bars. Well, it was the last guy selling chocolate bars. We don't have the ability to make chocolate bars yet. We do have the ability to do the rest of this, and it's 30 of each of the tier 2, or the second alloy. Okay. Hmm. Lead, not coal. Let's go down to the basement. I need coal. This one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, different count. 1, 2. Okay. Let's go make some steel. Make sure it's empty. Always make sure it's empty. Do pipe in some gas though. is there enough heat left in the thing to melt steel, or do I have to give it fuel? And looks like I'm gonna have to give it fuel. Need a little bit of volatile. The hot gas and the nickel and iron. And nickel. There we go. Let's go get more iron.
Power low.
I really need to come in here with more light, so that way I don't have to run this light, which is what's draining my battery so quickly. Are. Right. Let's empty that out completely. And we're going to want quite a bit. So, oh, I don't have an oxide in my hands. Close enough. Let's go 10 and 5. Well, we definitely passed the temperature, but we can pull in colder gas. And now we've passed the max pressure, so. Oh no, we didn't pass max pressure. But now it's too cold. Well, these things do happen. Now, way above max pressure. There we go. We got oxides to spare, so.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
Wrong hotkey.
Temperature critical.
That's why some people lock their helmet, but I never bothered. We also want to put this in our hand. So, 300 steel, 300 invar. So now we have solder, Constantine, and electron. Solder, we don't have that. Actually, we've worked our way through most of those alloys. So, Constantine is copper and nickel. Have any? There's copper. Do we have nickel? Or did I use it all? Okay, that's now. Another 100. Let's go down to the mine, see how our mine's doing.
Hunger caution.
Silicone. See these out? I need to find a way to automate it. Just those two needed. silicone, silver. No, we can't make much electrum yet. Nickel. Well, maybe I will have to go on a mining run. Try to remember that I put all this stuff into that one. This one as empty as possible. So I will manage that. I have the wrong chip in. I want the ore scanning chip. Ground penetrating radar. Mining drill can. There's some gold. We're gonna need that. I think we have enough gold for a while. Silicone. Silicone. I want silver. Ask and thou shalt receive. Got a little carried away there. Alright. Still need to find nickel. Lead. Okay, I did bring the GPS. It would suck if I got lost. Come on. Anybody seen nickel? Nickel! Yay! Looks like I don't have to worry about the GPS. I can see where the base is. That's where I want to aim, because that's where the entrance to the underground is. Processing is level 5. With nickel and copper, so we need to Windows, and they're thinking you want to open their help button. Alright. So, yoink and yoink. There's enough gas that we can at least melt the ores. Split and what was the exact conditions needed? A lot of pressure. Decent. Okay. Do we have enough heat in the reservoir, or do I need to pump in? Looks like I'm going to have to bring the heat. go. And now we're doing Electrum. Sorry, Electrum for the trader. And I don't think I'm going to bother with solder because we don't have the lead, and I don't want to hunt for the lead or deal with the temperature issues of the lead. Or, yeah. Solder, you got to get low temperature, and I don't want to fight with that. So, we got these two alloys to sell to the trader, and then we'll send him
Hunger critical.
Alrighty. Art. Put you back in the standard start position. While we wait for that to reset, let's go get some food. Notable 10 is our current breathable environment, food, and water. Baked potato. Breakfast of champions. Oh, not enough to feed you. Okay, we'll make you another one. These crop of soybeans are going to do a whole lot better now that we have that one that was really good on the genetics. So they'll grow very nicely. And we should get a nice supply of soybeans so we can turn those potatoes into french fries. So building left and then came right back. Apparently he liked our alloys. That goes way. And now the fun game of trying to find the right position. Drop down. That feels worse than 30. Yeah, much worse. Five. That's what we need. Negotiate. Or it's interrogate. I feel like it should be negotiate. Let me guess. You want to buy alloys and an auto lathe mod. No, he doesn't want the auto lathe mod. Yeah. Gas slowly in. Boom. nickel and iron. A high pressure, or a set pressure and a high. Again. Alright, we're in the right temperature range. And now we're at the right pressure. Alright. Okay, so we only have 2 on the steel. At this point, I think we have enough funds that after these 2 deliveries, we should have enough money to send them away and not worry about having to sell anything. It'd still be nice to get like a seed trader so we can get all the seeds. Which is why I'm currently caring about trading, is I'm just wanting to get the seeds. Alright, depart. Let's go feed 20 minutes before we get a different trade. Alright. So yeah, we have just short of 5,000. That should be more than enough to buy anything.
Air tank low.
I think that answers what I'm going to be doing next, is working on a primitive gas system. We are starting to
Air
run out of
tank
options.
critical.
Let's pump you out. Yeah, I am missing the seeds. I just wanted to make sure. We do have some of the seeds, but when the seed trader came, we didn't have money to buy all of them. Close enough. There's the silicone. There's the steel. There's the copper. We'll build a large insulated tank to put the oxygen in, and a large insulated tank to put the nitrogen in. Because when we do oxides, you're going to have nitrogen and oxygen, and I want to separate the 2 gases out. Which means we're also going to need an atmospheric kit with a filter for one of those gases to separate it out. Most likely, it'd be best to do it with the nitrogen, as there's only a little bit of nitrogen. think I did decide that the atmospheric is going to go on this level. So. Fun. Get the drill because we're at the drill. The secondary advanced furnace is kind of become redundant. I'm not going to be using it for what I planned for because I'm not doing it to guess, you know. I decided to go with deep miners as my primary source of ores, and those don't degas.
Power low.
Since we're talking about it, what do we need to disassemble? Angle grinder. Okay, put you there. Wire cutters. And drill. And there we go. Oh, that's not a full-size one. That's the one I want. Alright, let's screw all themselves. What am I working on? Right now I am working on an atmospheric system. So the first step in having an atmospheric system is to have storage. So this one's going to be my oxygen tank. And then the one I'm putting in next to it is going to be for nitrogen. That way, when I put an ice crusher and do oxides, it's going to produce the two gases, nitrogen and oxygen, and it's going to be stored separately. Then I'm going to run pipes throughout the base, so I'll be able to fill up my oxygen tank, not by coming over here and slamming it into this guy, but when we go up to this level, I have the breathable atmosphere, which, while I'm thinking about it, I need to come vent my waste tank. Right now I'm having to vent the waste tank this way, but eventually I'm going to have it set up where when I put it on here, it will automatically vent the waste tank into this atmosphere since the plants suck that up. And the oxygen tank will be refilled by this pipe that's connected down below. Uh, it's a pain in the butt to set up, but it's also very
Power
useful
low.
to have the somewhere that separates the gases and stores them so you can do with them as you like. I hope that was a good explanation of what I'm doing and why. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm going to go steal the existing ice pressure that I built to power the cooling system. And go grind it. And then handrail. Let's take some of these existing pipes away. The fun part is I've made it 43 days on the moon without having to build an atmospheric regulating system. Hmm. Okay. And on that note about atmospherics, iron and gold. Filter for nitrogen. We'll start with the cheap filter for now. What's battery for now? Atmospherics, we want filter. Do it that way. Unfiltered. Let's have that line up. The nitrogen should come out here, oxygen should come out here, because right now that's the only two materials that are going to be going through this. Right now this isn't the best way to set it up because I'm short, it's a temporary thing and I might kick myself later, because ideally what you do is you have these lead directly into the tanks as a filtered gas, not an unfiltered. Yeah, space. Wire. Wire. Okay.
Power low.
Yours not fully charged yet, so I'm not too worried. And we're gonna need more insulated pipes. Yeah. Probably about 20. I guess. Although stationary math always pretty much ends up whatever you think you need plus 1. So now my main battery is charged. And hey, look at that. I actually was way off in a good way where I didn't need as many. Alright. With all that, we should be able to turn this on, turn this on. Not very slow. That's good. Now, if I did this right, it gives you 10% nitrogen, 90% oxygen. Should come through here. It should filter the nitrogen, and that should come out this line, and pure oxygen should come out this line. Yay! I did the thing right. Go up and steal the regulating system from the temporary greenhouse setup. So originally my little greenhouse was just these 3 squares that were pressurized, and this was the airlock. Being that small a space, and having temperature fluctuations, because before this guy got in, I had to put in something that regulated the pressure, because plants are pressure sensitive, and the walls are pressure sensitive. And at only 3 squares, it could really easily overpressurize just from the rise of temperature. So what I did, let's come to here. I still need to finish setting this up properly, but it works for now. Pull it to vacuum so we don't waste the gas. Is I set up this back pressure, well, originally it was a back pressure regulator pointing into this storage tank. So if the pressure got above 100 kPa, it would then put any extra gas into this. Once I opened the chamber up, I reversed it and just pumped everything out. But now that it's pumped out, I can unstill all these parts. Alright. And if you're wondering how I make the tool go from my hand into the tool thing, I use G, which is different than when you use F, because F will put it where your cursor is. So, see how the cursor is at the upper right under the thrust up? G will take a tool and move it into the nearest appropriate slot. Kind of useful. Alright, so I want to go in here and go pressure regulator. There's the wrench. But that one doesn't have the, I just need a standard pipe utility. Got one. Okay. Then we come over here. Put a tank fill. Grab my labeler. Or tank. 20 kPa. Here, make a smart cylinder. We need a little bit of silicone, and we need to process silicone. That's there's some silicone to process. So now we are upgrading our oxygen storage tank to a smart cylinder, which holds more. This one holds a little bit over 20 kPa, which is nice that it's more than 20 kPa, so that way you set it for 20 kPa and then you have that much wiggle room from temperature increases, as opposed to a standard canister. There's this gas canister, which has only 10,000 So you get to double the amount you have. Of course, that's 50,000 liters versus 64 liters. But we have all these oxides that we can throw in here. Now, since I am at vacuum and we have a null temperature, I could rig up a chute system that I could just load as much as the chute could hold, and then it would slowly take it up. In fact, do I have any spare chutes? No. No, I don't. We can make material, which is not a lot, but enough to get something started at least. There we go. Yeah, again, if we were doing ores, I would feel comfortable with a hopper because oxides and ices melt. I kind of prefer using an inlet. But yeah, with ores, definitely would love using a hopper. You're, you're close to it. Now I need to go check something in the greenhouse real quick because my brain just remembered that soybeans eat nitrogen. Okay, we're good on the nitrogen. We're good on the CO2, at least for now. Because part of my brain's like, oh yeah, it's real easy to regulate the CO2 levels. You just plant mushrooms, and that can help balance the oxygen versus CO2. But nitrogen, you can't do that. So I have to remember to keep an eye on the nitrogen level. Luckily, I filled this room with oxides instead of just straight oxygen, so it had it. Soybean. You only produce 2. That disqualifies you from continuing. Oh yeah. Speaking of things like that, when we last went up, we rewired this as well, so this is now no longer. See that? Yeah, that brings me to 5. let's go down to the mine, make sure nothing's clogged, because I still haven't automated the opening of the centrifuges. And I can already see one is in need. Alright. I feel bad. I was actually going to look up how to do a good job automating those centrifuges so they would know when they were full and open themselves, then close themselves. And this week just got ahead of me and I was unable to do so. And then, as the game tends to do, once I got in, there's other priorities that took precedence, and I'm like, yeah, figuring that out live on stream probably is not the best idea anyway, and it's just getting away from me anyway. That's the one I was looking for. Okay. Upload these guys here. So yay, we have the start of our atmospheric systems. We need to further expand it, have a tank for each gas, and then instead of this really bad system, I need to have it where the filtered gas is pointing to the tank, and each gas has its own filter. Always wise to try not to set up a temporary solution like this, because as the saying goes, there's nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. This, though, cannot continue. It will have to change. So I'm not worried about it becoming a permanent solution, because this only works when I'm feeding in oxides. Does not work for when I finally attach this tank and start pulling up the gases off the orbs. Or even pulling it in from the base and separating the greenhouse gases. We'll eventually get a composter going and a hydrolyzer and all those other things, so we can, even though there's oxides of plenty here, I want to try to get it where we're producing our own volatiles, producing our own oxygen, and that way we can take what we learn to another planet like Venus or Vulcan and not have to worry about it. Although Vulcan, there's volatiles everywhere. Venus, every time I've tried to play Venus, volatiles is the limiting factor. And as is standard practice in this game, one thing leads to another. I'm noticing my nitrogen tank in my suit is getting low. Gonna need another pipe utility. And we're gonna need to process iron. Grab the wrench so we can do some fancy pipe work. Just like we did with the oxygen refill station, now we're having a nitrogen refill station. That one's being set to 10,000 because currently I can't afford to make a smart tank for the nitrogen.
Jetpack critical.
Oh, sweet. So, one thing to bear in mind, I can't put that oxygen tank
Critical.
into there. It will explode because it is set up for smart cylinders, not standard cylinders. Easy mistake to make, which is why I'm just stowing that one so I don't have to worry about it. It's going nicely. Now let's look into what we need. We need more steel. I'm not even going to bother looking at the backpacks. I'm going to actually come and utilize the trusty system down here. Remember correctly, this one's the coal? How hot is the... I don't think that's going to push it over the 14 degrees we need anytime soon, unfortunately. But ooh, I guess I was wrong. It did do the trick. There, so we always have an oxygen tank. And now let's change this, that way the nitrogen is likewise and reserved. Those two should go into the lifeboat with the spare suit. Now it's set up for a smart tank. And the rice tank. Oh. The problem with the waste tank is your suit is the limiting factor, not so much the cylinder. But the spare suit should get its own cylinder, so put that under next time I think about it. So the irony is, why have these big tanks right now? almost all of it is being put into our smart tanks. Just so that way I have something there. And now I'll stop yelling at me. So we have plenty of oxygen. Our filters are going to be good for a long while. Next time we come back, we'll probably have plenty of nitrogen. So yeah, we got that going. Iron. There's black.
Jetpack critical. Whoa! Whoa! Um. Not cool, game. Did it just eat my cylinder? I think it did. Well, that's not fun. Definitely need to figure out a good way to code these to empty them out. I want to use the hashes to do so, but I need to look on how to do the hashes again. I don't remember exactly the right way of doing it. I guess I have to accept the loss. one thought I do have. Check the surface. In some games, if it falls through the earth, it shoots to the high point and then falls down. I know that happened a lot to me in Eco. Nope. Just have to accept that I've lost a smart cylinder. At least it wasn't the one full of oxygen. And the nice part about being on the moon is I can control the solar panels with this simple circuit and don't have to code. Stop looking down.
Anti-critical.
And now our tanks and cylinders are color coded, which should help us avoid any accidental swappings. You are now backup gas. We're going to take you to the life pod. And that way, you're the in case of emergency gas. I think it's been more than 20 minutes. Oh. That was a point dealer, wasn't it? Sad face. Six. Oh, that is horrible. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. chocolate bars, paper, flour, cupcake, batteries. Oh, you're useless. Sorry to say. That's the life pod. Let's check our greenhouse, see if those beans have gone to seed. And they have. I just had the potato. Let's go with potato first. Alright. $14, $13. You're the winner on the genetics is right. Why I'm in the breathable space, let's take off the spacesuit so we don't get stinky. Because if we get stinky, then we start using up oxygen and water faster. I find it interesting how quickly those genetics went away, or went the way they did, because, as you can see, I haven't set up the genetic station yet, so I haven't done any tampering. I do want to do some genetic tampering with our plants, but quite honestly, at this point of the game, I'm just happy to have plants to keep me alive, let alone plants to do genetic research on. So it was nice that it just happened to go, hey, we had some wild temperatures and pressure in our lives. Let's adapt. Okay. All right. That's good that all the nitrous has finally purged itself. That temperature staying nice and low, so the system's more than capable of handling the space we have. Now the question is what to do next on the list. Is at the moment we can expand our gas storage. That's on the agenda to do. It's not super high on the priorities list right now, but that is something to be done. Expand. The next step down here in the ore processing is there's two things on the agenda. One I'm putting off till next week, provided I can do the research on how to do patch code well enough. Is we need to get an IC 10 to control the centrifuges When they get full, pull their lever, let them empty, then close them again. Iron. Copper. Bubble. Concentrate silicone. Yes. Silver. Nickel. Lead. Cobalt. Cobalt. Leaving uranium. So now I won't have to come over here and do the little side shuffle to see what each one of them is. So one of the other projects down here that is on my to-do list is to have these all go into a while I appreciate the offer to send me the code, I want to learn the code myself and how to write my own code. I do appreciate the gesture. If by next week I have not accomplished my goal of doing the research and you're here, I will gladly accept your help in writing the code and figuring out the code. I want to try to do it myself first, but if I don't do it by next week, please offer all the help and we'll write the code on string together. You might be interested in the next bit is because on this agenda, I want to have these silos feed into a vending machine and have the vending machine with its own IC10 code where it holds so much of each ore so that way I can request the ore to be sent up to the production area and that way it can know, oh, send this much of this ore, this much of this ore, and the vending machine kind of acts as the controller. I mean, technically, you could get away with the whole not using the vending machine part and just have it go straight from the silo to wherever. But I also want to see about running a line from that vending machine up to the trade network so the traders can see what's down here as well. High in the sky, I would love to have it where I have some IC10 code running the don't update that computer, do it another time. IC10 code running the printers, so that way I can be at the trader, see what the trader wants, and say, hey, print me off this many of each, put it into a vending machine, and that way we can just sell it there. I don't expect to get it to in this season. Like I said, it's a pie in the sky dream to have that one. I kind of just want this space self-sufficient. I want the big goal is getting the deep miners automated where I can sit up here and go, hey, I need this much iron and have it send me this much iron to this level. So again, on this level, we got to expand this out. I do want to move these around because this was just a temporary placement of the printers. It kind of works out nicely. Uh, but I built this when the room was literally only this big. And then we expanded it out. I'd like to make this the storage area and then have the printers have like their own each independent room for each one. But I'm not sure about that one. I'm still thinking that one over. But yeah, definitely need to expand this one out. And on this side of the room, we need to put atmospherics to cool. Because why? Right now, that one radiator is enough to deal with all the heat my base is currently producing. Once we start running the hydrogen burner to make water, that's going to produce a lot of heat, and we're going to need to manage that heat, which will be good lessons when we go to these. This level. Ultimate goals on this level is to have an actual independent greenhouse for each of the crop types, ideally with a Larry managing them and sending them to the appropriate places. And then at the very end, have a room set up specifically to do genetics to see whether we can get better crops. Like I said, I'm kind of shocked these have already had the genetic swing that they've already had, which is nice. But it would be nice to see what else we can do with it. Because I've never played with the genetics in this game, and I thought it would be interesting. So yeah, just that's as simple as digging it out, which is why I have this access. And this month just got messaged by someone. But dig this area out, which is what this access point is for, and just build the individual compartments. Then we go to this level, which in my mind was always to be the living quarters, because kind of the idea behind this particular playthrough is I'm actually wanting to build a semi-functional moon base. That's why it's actually built underground instead of on surface, because if you actually did build a moon base due to radiation, you would want to be underground to protect from the radiation. So we have the mine down at the bottom, because that's where the deep miners go, and as we work up, so this would be the living area, and I'd actually want to build like quarters for individuals, and the initial thought is to have a quarter for each of my followers. So right now that'd be 13 rooms I need to build, possibly more by the end. I'm still deciding what should go in each room. Clearly a bed, a suit rack with their own suit. When we get up to here, one of the things I want to do is build not just one landing pad, but have multiple landing pads that are atmospheric. So not just, oh, okay, we can accept the robot traders. I want it where each landing bay actually has it where it can take the maximum size ship, fill it with atmosphere, and even have it where when you walk out here, you're in an enclosure, probably all glass, and you just come up here, and then there's trade platform this way, trade platform this way, and as you go, just trade platform this way and that way, and have it be where it's supposed to be like the staging ground for getting off Earth and going to other planets. Uh, I don't know whether I'm going to get to rockets in this particular playthrough, but rockets would go in those directions, and I'll probably have like a glass walkway along here so you can see the rockets. That's the big end goal. I will eventually have to move the life pod, because this was the starter life pod that kept me alive while I dug that base out. And I kind of want to keep it, but I'm going to have to move it. So I'll probably build it out there once I get the landing pads all built, where it's the emergency shelter in case something happens. Likewise, I kind of want to do something to keep this guy intact, just because I can. So enough talking about future plans, and let's try to figure out what we're going to do with the next 30 minutes. With the 30 minutes, I think it's going to be digging out and placing the storage things for the rest of the, sentimental value. But digging out the rest of the gas storage and possibly building the tanks. Because that's going to be a lot of digging. Yep, and there went the light. That's the other thing I'm going to eventually do on my plans list is I have the Omni thing right here that provides power to most of my tools while I'm in the base. I like to string out a better network inside the base where anyone inside the base will have access to the wireless power network. So you don't have to worry about batteries in the base. So even if you're in a vacuumed area like I am right now, you won't have to worry about your suit running out of power. Just to drill all this out, but that's probably going to be just as much work to build the ogre, set it up, and have it drill out each section than to just drill it out myself. Come on. Come on. And learn. Actually surprised my cats are behaving tonight. Normally Casey in particular is very loud and lets his presence be known. We keep joking that we want to put a webcam on him and every time he meows he pops up in the screen. But surprisingly today he's being rather chill. That's what happens when everything kind of looks the same, is you kind of lose your sense of direction. We have plenty of steel, so we can always making a cave-based space engineer grind. Yes, yes, very much like making a base and space engineer. Oh, we're going to need to process more silicon. This one. This was the one that had all the silicon. Oh, the deep miners are going nicely. As soon as I get these processed, I'll take you down to show you the deep miners. The problem with the deep miners right now is I haven't done the code that empties the centrifuges automatically. I wanted to look up how to do the hash commands this week, but the week got away from me with Veterans Day throwing us all off. My wife is in a military band, so she was performing in the Veterans Day parade. So that was an all-day thing for me. And then Tuesday, the day I was thinking about researching it all, my brain kind of thought it was Monday, and I kind of lost track of the week. Good. Let's go show him the deep miners. So we have the 3 deep miners here. And they all go into this stacker. So that way it gets put into a nice clean group. Then it goes down the chutes where it first goes into this guy, and then once this overflows, it flows into this one. And basically just keeps repeating that process down this line. Oh, that one needs to be emptied. And it, so far, is actually working fairly well. With the exception of, well, it's working well and it fills up and it's bottlenecking by me having to come, run over here, open them, wait for them to empty, and then closing them again. We have the sorters set up and controlled by the computer, so it's separating each ore into their silos. I have it all the way to even collect uranium, and then I have the waste chute on the off chance that something does get through the system that wasn't sorted. They're doing a lot of updates to this game. It would not shock me if they add a new ore type at some point. The next update, which they already released and had to roll back, has 3 new foods. So again, I wouldn't be shocked if they introduced a new ore type, and that would catch it. The part I find funny is because I'm sure most people who play this game watch Splitsy and his playthrough, and he's just now just set up the deep miners this week, and I'm already on like week 3 of setting up the deep miners. But his base is so much further along than mine is right now. Let's give you guys better light. There we go. Not sure which is better lighting. Well, the next big update is going to be the train jet. They have several small updates, but they're redoing how the train is generated. And again, I would not be shocked if they came out with a new ore type. If I was going to add a new ore type to this game, it would be beryllium, because I know they want to bring nuclear power, and beryllium would definitely be something you'd want for nuclear power. Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, nitrous. Volatiles, that's the one I was forgetting about. On the bright side, we're having enough iron that I don't have to mine iron now. So not to get you off track of what we're doing. But what is your next goal working on the farm? Or what? Yeah, the farm, the end goal for the farm is to have a greenhouse per crop. And there's several crops. The next update is introducing 3 more, and to have a Larry operating for each one, with the possible exception of switchgrass. Switchgrass, I might do an industrial and just have a Harvey for each switchgrass. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what's more effective. I've not done Larry's yet. Technically, I haven't done Harveys. I've done I haven't where I could do a Harvey, but I've not done the Larry's yet. That is one thing you have to give the people who make this game credit is they are definitely developing it at a pretty good pace, So you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work on that on my next playthrough, and then by the time you get to that next playthrough, there's like 5 other things that you need to work on. I still haven't played with rockets since they did the update. I used to use rockets all the time, but that was on the old rocket system. Oh yeah, you would have laughed your butt off earlier. We were trying to mess with one of these cylinders, and when I went to repaint it, I dropped it through the floor, and the game just ate it. Uh, but at least it wasn't eating me this time, like when the trader took off and tried to take me with it. For those who weren't there that day, uh, I sent the trader away. It went to fly away, and when the trader closed its door, it closed it on me and flew away with me until it reached the limit of the game. And then when the trader vanished, it broke my suit, my helmet, my suit, my uniform. It broke everything. It was not fun. Oh no, that's just the funny part is it didn't instantly kill me, but it practically killed me because then I was just left to die the slow death of suffocation in the void. Yeah, yeah. You were laughing. You were laughing a lot. Uh, that was a very funny moment. I have to give it to you. I didn't even fault you for laughing your butt off at me. Yeah, I didn't know that could happen. I now make a point to avoid the starships as they depart after I send them away. Because the thing that really sucked in that is it destroyed my credit card, so all the money that I had saved up was just gone. Yeah, I'm fairly certain if you search the internet, there probably is an America's Funniest Home Videos for games. Let's finish loading up the oxygen. So CO2, volatiles, nitrous. need more steel. Yeah, it's just for the gases. Because I kind of had to be concerned with that today because my oxygen was starting to get low. And so I needed to make a system to filter the gases. I think that's probably a little bit too much. That's fine. Actually, one more. Let's go make a nice big batch of steel. So, the nice part about this setup is there's an actual atmosphere inside that box. It's a very thin atmosphere, but it's an atmosphere. And technically, the furnace loses heat to the environment unless that environment is the same temperature as it. So by having that thin atmosphere, it actually equalizes with the thing, and then you don't lose any. I mean, there is some heat loss, but it minimizes that heat loss greatly. Less coal. Wait for the temperature. Boom. Steel for this. We already blew through all that silicone. There we go. At least we've reached a point where we're processing materials in batches of like 500 or more. It goes a lot better when you don't have to stop every few minutes to process ores, even though I realize I'm stopping every few minutes to process ores, but that's because we're putting in a big system.
Ether. Oh. Not sure what happened there. Alright, green light. Pull. There we go. Yeah, that one was building, and I have no idea how I just went there first there. There we go. Okay, so if you hold shift and mouse wheel, it will do that. Good to know. Yeah. The asteroid belt was an interesting experience. I don't think I'll do that one again. It was just weird, especially when I kept having the glitch where the jetpack wouldn't shut off properly. Let's get the iron so we can make more spray paint. Red for volatiles, yellow for blue. Oxygen, nitrogen, volatile, liquid. And water gets its liquid tank, not a So yeah, oxygen, nitrogen, CO2, volatiles, nitrous, pollutants. And if they had any new gases, we can always put it, expand out. In fact, we'll probably expand behind them and put their liquid tank equivalent behind them, because certain ones, looking at you, nitrous, like to liquefy at certain temperatures. I know one of my pipe dreams is to actually have a liquid tank of liquid nitrogen just sitting there at a comfortable spot. But, alright. Well, it is 11:53 according to my watch, so I think it's time to wrap this up. We will finish off by going to the greenhouse and grabbing our guy a nice little bite to eat. He is getting stinky, so we'll get out of our spacesuit to say goodbye. I've rather enjoyed having you all here. I hope you enjoyed being here. I do Stationeers every Saturday.
I do Legend of Zelda with my niece on Sunday. Uh, right now, I'm doing Luigi's Mansion on Monday nights, and due to a death in Project Zomboid, I'm ending the season, and I'm going to be doing Stacklands with its DLC on Wednesdays until I beat that. Uh, so until then, I hope you have a good time. I hope you give me a follow, and have a good evening.